And then with the selection tool, click the visible rectangle on the page and then fill that with the blue to red swatch. Make the stroke active, and you're also going to click the blue to red gradient swatch so we can apply that to the stroke as well. Then in the gradient panel, so we're going to go to Window, Color Gradient, and change the angle field to 180, and that's going to change the direction so that the stroke goes from the red on the left to the blue on the right. So it's going to be a reversal, and now you can click to deselect. Now if you really want to look at this with changing to preview mode, fine. I don't see that it's going to give you a whole lot that you didn't already kind of figure out, but there's the preview mode and going back to normal again. Next we're going to create an irregular graphics frame. So we can do other things besides the rectangle, ellipse, and polygon frame tools. So we're going to do a Bezier shape with the pen tool and convert that to a graphics frame. So we can do a frame in virtually any shape, and there is a lot of work to do with that, but we can use a complex frame from a placed graphic, which is going to be easier. Going up to File, select Place, and we're going to get the correct folder and pick up the guitar outline, and we want to show import options, and we want to replace selected item and say open, and in the dialog box choose crop to the art and then say OK. I don't have mine going in because I had accidentally deselected everything, so I didn't have mine go right straight in. I could have, which would have done that, but then you simply go undo, Control Z, and it floats again. So I'm going to click in the white area near the top left corner to place the loaded icon up in here. And then select the top left reference point on the proxy, and we're going to change the image's frame position to X 1/4 of an inch, and the Y is 4 3/4 inch, and move that to the bottom of the artboard. And with that frame selected, you're going to choose Object, Clipping Path, Options. We've used clipping paths before. In the dialog box, click the preview, and from the type, pick Detect Edges, which really is the only one that we have option available right now. And then you can select OK to close the dialog box, and look at there, we have this beautiful thing of that's an outline. We've only got a couple of points on here that have an issue, and that's right in here. And now go to Object, Clipping Path again, and this time we're going to convert clipping path to frame. And that's pretty easy. Now we can zoom in here, and with the direct selection tool we can pick up that image inside the irregular frame. So let's go in here and use the direct selection tool, select the image inside that frame, and press the delete button, and we're going to delete the placed frame, but we're going to leave the frame we created. So using the selection tool, now we're going to click that to pick that back up again, and then go to File, Place, and pick up the guitar JPEG. And I should have unchecked everything, but it's fine. I'm just going to say OK. And that's going to place the image inside the guitar. Pretty cool. Our next section is called Create Visual Impact with Transparency. I think you guys all know what transparency is. It's being able to have things see through something. So I don't really think we have to spend a whole lot of time explaining that, but you should probably read that section just to get a good idea of what's going on with it. So let me zoom out of this so that I can see the whole piece. Click off to deselect. You'll see there's a little chain in there that it's not visible, it's just an artifact that's left over. And we're going to use the selection tool to select the gradient filled rectangle. Choose Object, Content, Graphic. So we just converted that to a frame. Now, according to the book, quote, when you create a frame with one of the basic shape tools, it is considered unassigned because it's not a text frame or a graphics frame, and you can convert any type of frame to another type by using that menu. So now with the gradient filled rectangle still selected, we're going to go again to File, Place, and this time we're going to choose the guitar JPEG and check the Replace Selected Item option. We don't really need the import options, and I'm going to say Open, and we've got that same file placed in there. Because the Replace Selected Item was active, the item is placed directly into the selected frame. Now with the selection tool, we can click the guitar-shaped graphic to select it and move the selection over the image frame to reveal the content grabbers. Click the content grabber to access the image inside the frame. So just double click like that and I've now got the image, and in the Properties panel I'm going to change the image's position inside the frame to match the one that's in the rectangle. So I'm going to change this to a -3/4 of an inch for the X value. That should be a -0.75. Okay, and this one should be a -4.5. There we go. I'm going to hit my escape key so I can restore the frame as the active selection instead of having that frame, the graphic inside it. And then in the Properties panel, I want to find the Effects button right here, and I'm going to choose Drop Shadow. We've done this kind of stuff before, and in the Drop Shadow box we are going to check the preview so that we can see what's happening, and we're going to click the color swatch to change the color. We want the custom blue for the color of the drop shadow instead of black, and I think that's all we're changing in here. Okay, and then using the direct selection tool, we're going to select the image inside the box. You see all I have to do is click on it, changes to the hand, and you can see that the image itself is selected. And we're going to open the Effects panel. So I'm going to go to Window, Effects. And now in the Effects, we're going to change this because you can see in here that this is a graphic that's placed in here. We're going to change this to multiply for the blending mode, which is going to blend that image with the color that we have placed behind it. Now click the effects at the bottom of that panel, and we're going to put in a gradient feather. Now with the gradient feather, that's going to change that up a little bit more. We're going to click the button to the right of the gradient ramp to reverse the gradient. That's this one. Click in the angle circle, and we're going to, you can either drag this or you can type the in. We're going to change the field to 90 degrees. So we have a line going straight up here on the angle, and then drag the right gradient stop until the location field changes to being 85%. So the black on this side, we're going to change this over to 85%, which is going to change how that gradient is applied. Went too far. That's close enough. And then click OK. Click away from the image to deselect, and let's collapse the effects panel, and you can see how that's changed that image quite a bit. Now if we go in, and it doesn't tell you to in the book, now let's take a look at the preview and look at how that's looking. It's pretty cool. The next thing we're going to do is put in a QR code. InDesign has the ability to generate QR codes within the program itself. So we're going to do this by placing in a rectangle frame. Just place a rectangle in there in the corner. We're going to use the properties panel to put it to the correct size and location. The X value should be a quarter of an inch. The Y value is going to be 7.445. We are going to make sure we are using the upper left corner for this reference point. The width and the height are both going to be 0.8 of an inch. So we've got our location set, we've got the size put in, everything's good on that, and then we're going to change the frame's stroke weight to 3 points, and we're going to have the fill be paper. The stroke color we want in the custom blue. As long as that frame is selected, we're going to go to Object and Generate QR code. In the dialog box, choose Web Hyperlink, and then we're going to type in the URL, which for this is www.westonsummerconcertseries.com. Then click the Color tab and choose the 0 cyan, 40 magenta, 100K, so we're going to put it in the rich black, and select OK. And there it just generated the color code. Oh, I forgot on my fill, I didn't want none, I wanted that to be paper. There we go, that's why I have that. So I made the correction. And we have completed this stage.